I'm going to keep Chris Godwin. I'm going to trade Mike Evans, and I'm going to cut OJ Howard with my foot on his butt as I kick him out the door.
Right here.
What up, Whisper Nation? Before we get you to your video, just wanted to remind you that this Saturday, August 8th, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, we are going live right here on our YouTube channel for 24 straight hours of mock drafting. We are bringing people in from the fantasy football community, people that you know and love. You can draft with them. We're giving away a ton of prizes. It's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you hit subscribe, hit the bell, so you get a notification when we go live on Saturday, so you can come and join the mock draft mania that is going to be happening. All right, hope to see you then, Whisper Nation. Let's get you to that video.
We're moving on to one of our favorite new topics, Keep Trade Cut, presented by Chelsea. She is going to bring in a few options for us here, and then Stepmom Lauren, Johnny, and I will decide what we're going to do. Keep Trade Cut. Chelsea, take it away.
All right, so for this first one, and because it's been on my mind, I'm really interested to hear about how you consider the three leading receivers in Tom Brady's backfield: Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and OJ Howard. Keep trade cut. Who's it going to be?
Stepmom Lauren, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. I'm going to keep Chris Godwin. I'm going to trade Mike Evans, and I'm going to cut OJ Howard with my foot on his butt as I kick him out the door.
I think Stepmom Lauren's like me last year, where we just loved OJ Howard so much and he hurt us so bad.
Oh, I didn't care about OJ Howard last year either. That was
well. There, she's always wanted to cut him.
Lauren. Actually, don't look it up.
Yeah, don't look at the other Stepmom Lauren.
Yeah.
Well, look, Stepmom Lauren got serious here. She put her hair up. She said, "Look, I'm going after this keep trade cut." So, Johnny, what do you got for me?
I would agree with Stepmom Lauren. I would be keeping Chris Godwin. Listen, I understand the concerns with Tom Brady, father time, all of that. But then if you look at the position that Godwin plays, he plays that slot, Julian Edelman kind of role. We've seen that connection many, many years. And then we know Chris Godwin is also playing the Larry Fitzgerald role, which stays on the field. So I have a lot of confidence in Chris Godwin this year. So I will take him. I don't have as much in Mike Evans, even though he's a great talent. So that's why I would trade him, because he would get me name value and he'd get me a lot back. And then, yeah, I would cut OJ Howard. I really wish the guy the best. I really do. But unfortunately, I think it's on Tampa Bay. It's done for. He needs to go to another team.
Sick, man.
He's a talented tight end. It's not going to happen on Tampa Bay. Get him somewhere else. Free OJ Howard from the show.
Yes, free OJ Howard. I agree with both of you. I don't have anything to add there. Great takes. Chelsea, what's number 2?
All right. So for the next 2, I actually just ran a mock draft this morning. Got up 5:45 a.m., ran a whole mock draft on Sleeper.
Can't get enough.
I can't. And I wanted to look at a couple different scenarios that you may find yourself in. So in this mock draft this morning, the third overall picked Dalvin Cook, Chris Carson, and James Conner. So in that third spot, this person had all 3 of these running backs fall to them: Dalvin Cook, Chris Carson, James Conner. And I want to hear who you'd keep, trade, and cut if this was your team.
The Steelers just brought in Wendell Smallwood. So if they're bringing in Wendell Smallwood with Jalen Samuel, Benny Snell, and James Conner, that worries me for James Conner because of his cancer history with COVID. So he may be discussing opting out. So I am going to avoid James Conner until I know more information. When it comes to Dalvin Cook, so this keep trade cut, right? So I'm going to cut James Conner. I would draft Carson here, but you know what? No, I'm going to draft Dalvin Cook, and then I'm going to waste another draft spot to go ahead and pick up Alexander Mattison, who has standalone value on his own. But if you draft Dalvin Cook here, I think you need to be prepared to reach for Mattison. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're talking about trading Carson away, but keeping Cook in the event that you're going to draft Madison to hedge your bet.
Now that you say it out loud, it sounds dumb, and I don't want to do that now.
Just to be clear, this is what you said.
Yeah.
I know. I think that would be my mentality of where it is. So I think maybe I'll go with trade Dalvin because of all the extra work I'd have to do. keep Carson, trade Dalvin, cut James Conner. Final answer. Bing.
Yeah, I would agree with Stepmom Lauren here, and that's because Cook's value is one of the highest it's ever been. You actually get a lot of value here for Cook. I mean, obviously, we've got a little bit of hindrance with the lockout, but it sounds we're getting like 7 different reports. We're saying he's going to come back. He's not going to come back. I don't know. I don't think he's got enough leverage to sit out unless he opts out for COVID reasons. So for me, his value's super high. Trade Dalvin Cook. Keep, Chris Carson. He's in that rush-heavy offense we talked about at the top of the show. And then, yeah, obviously, I'm cutting James Conner, who I love. Look, James Conner is my bromance. If this season was a normal season, if he's going after it, I love it. He's put in the work, and we know Tomlin's a one running back guy if that running back is healthy. But in this situation, Stepmom Lauren made a really great case about the COVID offseason and James Conner.
And they also have McFarland too in that running back.
But he's a backup to even Benny Snell. So I don't really.
Travis, that's a bad name to bring up around Travis. He gets bitter because he doesn't want it to be happening. But it is.
Whatever.
I will say that both my colleagues here are correct in their answers. But I will, with a slight variation of, I am on that. Give me the Chris Carson train. Like, let's go. This guy was almost one of my league winners. Foreshadow. Like if it was just Travis and I on this episode, Chris Carson would have been on this episode because I would have snuck him on here. But since there's more, I left him off. But I love Chris Carson this year. So, yes, give me Chris Carson, trade Dalvin, and cut Connor.
All right.
Last one. So this was in the 5th spot of the draft. Looking at the 6th, 7th, 8th rounds, and Julian Edelman, Austin Hooper, and Matt Breida were all on my team. And I was like, well, I don't need all these guys. But who do I keep around? Who do I trade? Who do I cut?
Say it one more time, Chelsea.
Yep. Julian Edelman, Austin Hooper, and Matt Breida.
Okay.
And I love this because it was so different. They're different positions, but they're all in the same like weird mashup. Am I wasting my value? Am I going to get the return on value? Is there something else I can do here? So I just wanted to hear you talk about this weird cluster.
Okay, I can go first.
Stepmom Lauren. Yeah, get it.
Okay. This is going to be so hard, but I'm going to keep Matt Breida. I'm going to trade Julian Edelman. And I'm going to cut Austin Hooper. And the reason why I'm cutting Austin Hooper is because he no longer plays for the Falcons. He is you want to talk about too many mouths to feed? That's the Cleveland Browns. And it's Baker Mayfield trying to feed people with a toothpick. It's not going to happen. So I don't care for Austin Hooper. So I think he's way overvalued. So I'm going to get rid of him. And then it is a toss-up between Julian Edelman and Matt Breida. I just really like Matt Breida's explosiveness in a newish Miami offense with Jordan Howard. He has the pass-catching identity. Jordan Howard has the line of scrimmage identity, and I know what to expect from him, and I'll be able to plug him into my flex based on a matchup. I know what I'm going to do with him, and I'll just be disappointed if the matchup doesn't work, that kind of a thing. So trade Julian Edelman to get some good quality players back.
I have to ask, feeding with a toothpick, does that mean like Costco, like when you get samples? Is that?
It could.
Because I go ham on the samples. Yeah. So I think I would.
Stabs you with it. Like, man, here's your pass. Poke, poke. Yeah.
Johnny, what is your take on this keep trade cut?
Okay, so for my answer, I would agree with Stepmom Lauren in that I would actually keep Breida. I'm very intrigued by Breida this year. I don't know what's so tantalizing about Miami every year, but I end up falling in love with a piece there every single year. Jasicki is one of those guys, but I think Breida is another late round guy I like. As far as who I would trade and who I would cut, I think I would reverse it though. I think I would cut Julian Edelman and I would trade Austin Hooper. Now, the reason why I would say that is I'm not so certain the value and what people think of Julian Edelman. Like we talk about it in our dynasty league. Like I don't think that Julian Edelman carries a lot of weight anymore as far as like how good of a wide receiver he is. And so I just don't know if you get the same value. Now Austin Hooper had a great last 2 years, you can argue, oh, tight ends are hard to, get a top tight end. I'm giving you a back-to-back top 6 tight end, and I think the argument is a little bit easier to be made in that position. So I'd probably try to trade Hooper and cut Julian Edelman.
And totally, I mean, obviously no right or wrong answer, but I could definitely see it that way too. This was a really hard one, Chelsea.
Yeah, this was a good one. Yeah, I like it.
I think I'm siding with Stepmom, Lauren. I think it's easier to trade Edelman just based off a straight name value. And yeah, you should definitely keep. I think keeping Breda is the right answer here. One, it's the running back. That's more valuable a lot of the times, and it's the pass catching running back of Jordan Howard and Matt Breda. So you've got the upside, even if Miami sucks, which we all probably think that they will. Breda's got the upside to be the pass catching back in negative game script to make up for that. And then I just think it's going to be easier to trade Edelman over Austin Hooper. So that would be my leaning on that one.
Thank you for listening to the Fantasy Whisperers podcast. You can hear more from John and Travis on Google Play, SoundCloud, and iTunes. You can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at TF Whisperers.